guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to draw graphs that you might need on the test tomorrow. You won't need to know how to draw, or you won't need to draw these graphs for points on the exam, but you may need to draw them for reference, or at least be able to picture them in your head to know what they look like. So first off, I want to start off, that's not going to work. I want to start off with that's our ADAS graph. So all of the graphs that I'm going to go over have a basic structure like this. Then you're going to, the x-axis label over here is going to be real GDP. And then up here, the y-axis label is going to be price level. So these are pretty basic things. If you can just picture this, you might be okay. But if you want to go a little bit further, we're going to have a vertical line. That's not extremely vertical, but you get the point. And this is going to be called the LRAS. And down here, this point touching the x-axis is going to be referred to as y sub p. So y meaning real GDP, and a subscript of p meaning potential output. Then we're going to have a downward sloping aggregate demand curve. And we're going to have an upward sloping short run aggregate supply curve. Now, the point where they all intersect on the y-axis is going to be labeled P sub L, meaning price level. Now, this is pretty much all you need to know for the aggregate demand, aggregate supply curve. Sorry, I couldn't find my eraser for a second. That was not good. So I'm going to erase just these things because I'm still going to use the same basic structure for the next graph. So the next graph that I want to talk about is the graph of the money market. The money market is going to be not including this supply curve here. So let's get rid of that supply curve. There we go. So this is the money market. And this vertical curve right here is going to be money supply, and the downward sloping curve is going to be money demand. This x-axis is going to be the quantity of money. I'm just going to abbreviate for the purposes of this video. And up here, we're going to have the nominal interest rate. And it's important that you note that this is nominal, because in the graph of the loanable funds market, that's going to be the real interest rate, not the nominal one. Now, you're going to have your equilibrium point over here. You can label that as R sub whatever, and R is just going to be for interest rate. Down here, M, you're good, with a line over it. And that's basically the money market. That's all you need to know when you're picturing that. So now we're going to get rid of all of this again, and we're going to move on to the loanable funds market. And that's going to look fairly similar to this, actually, as far as at least the axis labels go. We do need to get rid of this vertical curve, though, because in the graph of the money market, we only have a demand and a supply curve. So that's important to note. You don't have any long run kind of thing in that. So let's go to the loanable funds. This is starting to get a little messy, but that's okay. This is just going to be D sub LF for demand of loanable funds and S sub LF for supply of loanable funds. Up here, this is going to be a real interest rate. That's why it's important that we note it, that the other one was nominal and this one is real. Because if you use the wrong axis label, you might convince yourself that this is a different graph than it actually is, as odd as that sounds. And now we're going to have quantity of loanable funds for x-axis label. Over here, we're just going to have another R sub maybe LF, interest rate related to loanable funds. I really don't think it matters that we note these for the purpose of this video. And then down here, you're going to have quantity, or you can do pretty much whatever for that part. And I believe the next one that we have to go over is the last one, and that is going to be the Phillips curve. And I'm going to just erase all of this for now and start fresh, because otherwise this is going to get way too crowded. I apologize. And I apologize for the opening and closing of doors. I'm at my aunt's house, and we have two young little rascals running around here, so if you can hear noise in the background, that is them. So we start off with such as that. We start off with our basic structure, and this is the Phillips curve. Phillips curve. So, down here, we're going to have unemployment rate. And up here, we're going to have inflation rate. We're going to have a vertical curve here called the long run Phillips curve, and a downward sloping curve here is the short run Phillips curve. And basically, all that you need to note for this graph is that there's a inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment that's displayed by the short run Phillips curve because it's downward sloping. So as inflation goes down, unemployment is going to go up, and as unemployment goes down, inflation is going to go. And I think that is the most important thing to note. And I hope that these graphs helped you out. I'm not going to go over the foreign exchange market today because of the fact that my teacher said that this test is not going to be international, so you don't need to worry about interactions between other countries. I hope that this helped you guys out. Let me know if there's anything else I